Hey guys, this is Anna and welcome back to my channel. So today's story time is going to be a crazy ride. It's going to be a long one, so get a snack, get something. I have my sparkling water and I have food here to eat. This is not going to be a mukbang. I have that video coming up very soon. But I just wanted to chill with you guys and eat and tell my crazy story. Before we start, I just want to say that I will not be saying her name. We'll call her Brittany. So I'm not doing this story time to talk smack about anybody. This is just a story time for me and to share with you guys and let you guys know that there are crazy people out there that you're going to encounter when you start going to school. There's awesome people that you're going to meet, but there's also people from all different backgrounds with all types of beliefs. So this is just like a crazy story that happened to me my first year. So let me just get started. So I think I'm gonna start with the very first time I met her. It's not very significant, but you know, I just start from the beginning. The first time we met, she actually happened to knock on my door. I didn't even know who she was. I had never seen her during like move-in day. But she knocked on my door and asked if I had any headache medicine, like any Advil or such. And I personally don't take medicine for headaches. I don't usually like taking any sorts of medications. So I didn't have any, and you know, I told her like, no, I'm sorry, I don't have any. And that was that. I'm pretty bad at remembering names, so I didn't even know who she was. I just knew that she was the person that lived next to me. Cool. So after that, I don't remember seeing her or talking to her. So I honestly don't remember when she started showing up a little bit more. But the first red flag of her was one time that she was in our room and we were just getting to know each other, you know, asking each other basic questions, this and that. I don't think that we ever asked her what her political views were. I think that she just like brought it up out of nowhere. Or I think it might have been because she's in some sort of like political science major. So she started talking about her political views and she mentioned that she was a Republican, and basically she started praising Trump. Which, before we move on, I just want to say, if you like Trump, if you know, like his views, if you're Republican, good for you. Like, I'm not bashing anybody. But this girl is something else. So she started praising Trump, talking about all his policies and how, like, everything he did was perfect in her eyes. And me and my roommate felt very uncomfortable. But we let it go because at the end of the day, everybody has different views on pretty much everything, and you're not going to agree on everything with everybody. So we just kind of let it go, just said, okay, whatever. We chose not to comment on anything just because, I don't know, it just felt uncomfortable. It didn't feel right. So we just chose to let that go and move on with our lives, basically, you know. Try to build a friendship with her and get to know her without mentioning Donald Trump or anything having to do with politics, basically. She constantly kept on bringing it up. And I mean, to the point where there was a time where she was in our room and out of the blue, she started watching YouTube videos about immigration officers actually arresting people that were here illegally. And, you know, that's where we saw like the huge red flag, because we're Mexican. You know, we come from Mexican heritage. Not to mention, I'm an AB 540 student, So the fact that you're here watching and enjoying ICE patrol officers arrest people, and I'm not saying, you know, what they're doing is right or wrong. Like, I'm not telling you guys what I think about that situation. I just thought it was wrong, the fact that she was watching stuff like that in our room. And honestly, the reason why I didn't say anything at the time was because I grew up here in the Bay Area where I had never come across anybody like that. And to top it off, I'm just not a confrontational person. I don't know how to confront people. I don't know how to like say things. I've never been good at confrontation. So I just like stayed quiet. And this girl like praised Trump like you have no idea. Everything that he did was beautiful. And that's awesome. You could believe in who you want to believe, but you could tell, you could like actually see it, that she was constantly pushing it and constantly talking about it with me and my roommate to almost to like piss us off or see a reaction out of us. At first I didn't see that. I thought she was just like a crazy like in love with Trump person, honestly. But now that I, you know, look at the whole situation, that's exactly what she was doing. She was looking for a reaction out of us. She was looking for us to say, you know, we don't like that, so she could like come back and like talk politics with us because that's her major. Or, you know, and there were times where we would like not necessarily argue, but talk about our point of view, talk about the stuff that we thought, you know, maybe isn't right or whatever. And every time we did that, she would go off about like politics and bringing up like facts and stuff. And I mean, personally, I'm not gonna sit here and like, you know, argue with somebody who first of all is a political science major, so maybe she knows a little bit more on the topic, which she actually didn't. The fact that like the stuff that would come out of her mouth was so like crazy. Just the things that she would say would not make sense at all. It was just sort of like defending and everything the political party that she preferred was right and correct, and everything else was wrong. And she was the type of person that would not look at anybody else's point of view but hers. So I, you know, I tried not to speak my mind too much when it came to that. The next issue that came up was the fact that she was so annoying. And it may sound like super snotty and super rude, but when I'm talking about annoying, like this girl was annoying. She would be in our room all the freaking time. The only time she wasn't in our room was the time that like she had to be in class. She was in our room more than she was in her room or anywhere else for that matter. Saturday mornings, she would text us. If we didn't text her back, like at 8 in the morning, she would come to our room, knock on the door really hard, wake us up. She was like, "Come on, bitches, like, she was just frustrating all the time. She would come and lay in our beds. Let me just put it this way. She did not take care of herself, you know. And she would sit on our bed all the time and was like annoying all the time. And I get that some people are more comfortable with like just coming into somebody else's room, like your friend, you can go chill at somebody's bed. But me and also my roommate, we were not raised that way. We would go out to eat. She never had money for some reason, but she had money to shop like every single day online. Don't understand that. So that's the moment where I just kind of started to distance myself from her. Every time that she was around, I would kind of just like go and be somewhere else. If I, you know, I just like preferred not to be in my room because I knew that if I was in my room and she knew that I was in my room, she would be there. And then she started getting very close to us, talking to us about her personal issues. And after she started telling us all these things, that's when I really opened my eyes and realized, oh my god, like, this person is actually evil. And I'm not like, you know, saying, oh my gosh, she's so evil. Like, no, she was pure freaking evil. So basically, she had broken up with her ex-boyfriend before she started school in Davis. So she was apparently very hurt. She still loved him, but like, I guess things hadn't, you know, ended well. She was in the Republican Party club or whatever, and they had a house. They had their Republican house where, you know, the president lives and like a bunch of the club members live at. And there was this guy in particular, we'll call him Josh. Josh lived there, and she started going to the house, going to parties and such, and she started liking Josh. I think that it was more of a rebound liking, because like 2 weeks ago she had just said like, oh my god, I'm still in love with my boyfriend or my ex-boyfriend. I don't know what to do. So she started liking Josh, and Josh had a girlfriend who was studying out of the country, so she wasn't there. By the stuff that she would tell us, Josh was a guy who liked to party and liked to drink and liked to flirt with girls, because apparently he was like super cute. And also Josh was like 20 something. He was like 23, 24. She was 18. So she started going to the parties more often. She started drinking more often. She started sleeping over more often, which led to her sleeping with Josh constantly. It wasn't just once, it was constant. She'd come to the dorm the next day drunk still, or like with a hangover, and tell us like, oh my god, like it happened again. And as like her friends, because we thought we were her friends, we'd tell her like, Brittany, you know, he has a girlfriend. He's significantly older than you, and you're drunk when you guys are sleeping together. Obviously this guy is not in love with you. But she thought different. She really thought that this guy was awesome, that this guy just had a couple issues. She would constantly tell us, oh, but Josh's girlfriend is rude to him. Josh tells me, you know, she's very manipulative, and Josh would tell her that that he was gonna break up with the girlfriend to be with Brittany. That never really happened. But this girl became obsessed with him. Nobody else in that house knew that they were sleeping together. You know, everybody knew that Josh had a girlfriend and that them sleeping together was wrong, but she didn't care. Oh, before the girlfriend comes back, the reason why I say Brittany was very manipulative was because all the time, it seemed like every other month, she seemed to forget to take her birth control. She seemed to sleep with him the days that she would forget to take her birth control. And she always happened to be feeling nauseous, or she happened to be feeling queasy or whatever. So she was constantly having pregnancy scares, constantly scaring this Josh guy, who was also a freaking idiot to begin with, for sleeping with this 18-year-old crazy girl. And so the girlfriend comes. Josh tells Brittany, I can't be with you anymore. We need to break up because, or not break up, break this situation up because my girlfriend is here. And she threatens him and tells him that she's gonna go talk to the girlfriend and tell her everything that's going on if he doesn't break up with the girlfriend. And the guy's scared, obviously. So he just tries to like avoid her at all costs. Basically, she ends up telling everybody in that house what happened or what has been happening. And she is so manipulative to the point where she turned everybody in the house against him and kicked him out of the house that he lived in. His girlfriend broke up with him, and she threatened him that she was going to tell the school that he raped her, because apparently every time that they slept together, she was drunk. So she threatened him to the point where he had to go back to his home country because he was so scared that he was gonna get arrested or whatever. His fault, I understand that. But how do you know that you slept with somebody willingly and then accuse them of having raped you? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how evil is that? I think before he left, she tried one last chance to get this guy back by sleeping with somebody else in the house that he lived in. And not only that, this guy was gay. She was constantly sleeping with him and telling everybody that she was sleeping with him, just to try to get Josh jealous, which didn't happen. He had already figured out that this girl was freaking crazy. So she dumped Josh at the end. It didn't end up with the gay guy at the end. While she was doing all of that crazy stuff, she was doing like crazy things to us too. There was an incident one time that we were just like, you know, let's just play a card game. I don't know what it was. I think it was freaking like Uno or something. And you know, it's girl time. So we played the game and we were like, okay, so whoever loses has to tell a secret or has to tell something about themselves that they don't really usually tell everybody. So there was a point where she lost the game, and you know, we were all saying like just like regular stuff, funny things and whatnot, and she got real dark real quick. She said that something about her that not a lot of people knew was that she was mean. A lot of people knew. She said that she was mean, and she literally threatened us, me and my roommate, by saying that she was the type of person that would slowly just like get to know you and slowly start getting information from you, because the moment that you betrayed her friendship, she was going to attack you with the things that were most like precious to you, like information, like personal stuff. So she was literally a freaking snake. Like, by definition, she is a snake. And me and my roommate both like stared at each other like, did she just threaten us to not say anything about her life, or just stop being her friend because she's gonna use information against us? Like, who the hell says that? Like, oh my god. It was the most awkward thing. I wasn't mad personally. I was just more like, who has the audacity? Who in their right mind would just sit there and tell somebody who you considered a friend and tell them, if you betray me, I'm gonna use everything against you and I'm gonna like hurt you where it hurts the most. This girl finally just like stopped caring about, you know, Josh and the other guy that she was sleeping with. Out of nowhere found some guy from Santa Barbara and started you know, dating him. They had like a long distance relationship or whatever. And I didn't care to ask anymore. I didn't care to know anything about it. The reason why I knew was because she wanted people to know her business. And I'm talking about, she would open her door, her room door, and talk on the phone super freaking loud, where like I couldn't not hear her conversations, right? So she was dating this guy, and she was like obsessed with him. I'm talking about like Lifetime movie crazy obsessed with him. She would literally talk to him on the phone from the moment she got up. She would like FaceTime him in the bathroom, which are public bathrooms, and like watch each other brush their teeth. I remember going into the bathroom one time and I came out and she was in the shower talking to him on the phone. Like, who the hell does that? That is so weird, first of all. I didn't care, honestly. It was just annoying, the fact that she was always on the phone and always being super freaking loud. We stopped opening our door. She wouldn't come in anymore. We kind of stopped talking to her. I'm gonna take a sip of soda because like I'm like shaking how crazy this story is now that I'm like actually talking about it. So I just put in my earphones or I would leave my room, which is so annoying because it's my dorm that my parents are paying for, and yet I'm not comfortable there, you know? But it was doable. Like, it was doable for me. I had other things to worry about. So the boyfriend comes from Santa Barbara. You know how they tell you, or you know how like that worst case scenario where people say like, oh my god, like you hear people having sex in the dorms, but like for 99% of the people that's like it never happens. No, it happened. This girl was having sex from the moment he got there. All night long. She kicked her roommate out of her room so she could be there in the room with this guy. And I'm not talking about like, oh my gosh, she's just loud or whatever. No, like she wanted us to hear, she wanted us to get mad because she was literally screaming. And it just was annoying to the point where like me and my roommate could hear it. The girls on the other side of the room could hear it. And like 2 doors down from her, they could hear it. Like, that's how annoying this girl was. Because she wanted the attention. She wanted to let everybody know that her boyfriend was there, and she wanted to let everybody know what they were doing. This happened twice. We did report it. She got in trouble. She was like scared as shit because she got in trouble. That was the very end, or like towards the end of finals week when we had to like leave the dorm. So that was the story. People like that are so evil, and they think that, you know, they're just gonna get across life just doing well and getting whatever they want, but they're not. This girl is evil. That's all. That's just it. She's just pure evil. And I pray that I never find anybody else like that, because I lost all of my patience with her. You know, if you're starting college and you find one of these snakes in your life or in your path, avoid them at all costs. Don't make the mistakes that I made, and actually speak up and end that friendship or that relationship. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this like crazy story with me. There was like a lot more details that I just chose not to get into because they are just like, let's just not get into the details. Thank you guys for sticking by and for listening to this crazy story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.